Good morning. So is it possible to be happy in the midst of struggle? Is it possible to feel joy and pain at the same time? I know that that's a good goal, but like, is that reality, or is that just a a guide to help get us out of darkness by being like, well, I want to be happy, so I'm going to choose happy, and that's going to help me get out of the bad place. But can you actually genuinely be happy when you're in so much pain? And when I say pain, I more so mean emotional pain, physical pain too, but that's just a different animal. It's like that the physical pain, it's not separate from your emotions. I do think that there are inflammatory emotions that can impact physical pain, but one of my friends said it best. She's just like, when I was having so much chronic pain, she's overcome it. But she said, I didn't have the capacity to work on my emotional pain until I was able to get the physical pain under a little bit more control, to even have the energy or any of that to work on the emotional. So my heart goes to people with chronic pain, and it's certainly on my radar, but I haven't quite tapped into all the solutions for that yet. But I do really believe that if you can, and the reason I believe this is because it's true for me. When I say it's true for me, it's because I lived it. My emotional state, the more at peace I was internally, the less battling and fighting and being at war in my emotions, the more I was able to surrender to things that are either out of my control or maybe just things at work that I can't see, like my greater healing intelligence, the universe, like other people, these things. The less symptoms I had. My symptoms weren't, I did have physical pain. That's not true. I did. I tend to block that out. I did. But that just wasn't my strongest symptom. But some of my symptoms were like paralysis, muscle weakness. I mean, that's pretty noticeable stuff. And sensations of stiffness and numbness and not being able to feel my feet. That happened to me yesterday morning. So for me, when I felt in moments of stress or anger or some of these inflammatory emotions, my symptoms flared up. One time, this is awful. It was when I first got off of medication, and that was always been a really big goal of mine, to be in remission, like the kind of remission where I don't need medication, the kind of remission that my body is healthy on its own. When I first went off of medication, I was freaking out. And usually my flares only last for like 3 days, and this one lasted for 2 weeks, and I thought that I was going down. And I couldn't get into the hospital to get medication for 2 weeks. Like, I finally surrendered, and I was like, okay, I'm clearly not in remission. I need to go into the hospital, and I couldn't get in. I almost called my neurologist to see if I could go to the emergency room, because I was just like, my body's, I'm starting to deteriorate. And my neurologist was like, two times I reached out to her. She's awesome, really, really awesome. But she said, well, do you wake up weaker? And I was like, no. And she's like, okay. Have you lost sensation? Like, can you tell a permanent change, or are these just temporary? I was like, no, I haven't lost any sensation or weakness. She's like, then it's not your diagnosis. It's not CIDP. It's not your autoimmune that's causing that. And I was like, ugh. And when she said that, my symptoms went away. No joke. I haven't had any symptoms since. I'm like, I'm in remission. I'm okay. So it's very real that how you feel and how you think can impact your pain and your symptoms. It is. So I don't think that some of the things I teach can cure your chronic pain. I just think that it can help alleviate it sometimes. I think it's a tool in your toolbox of the many things that are going to have to be used. Okay, I'm getting way off topic. But so for me, being happy in the midst of pain, is it truly possible? And my answer to that, and I will back this up, is yes. And that's because, again, it's based on my own personal experience. And I can tell you, honestly, it is not I've had so many people be like, oh, I'm sure you have bad days. I'm sure you have bad moments. I'm sure there's some nights that, are really tough, and you want to cry when you're like fall asleep crying. And that's because that's their truth. Like, for me, that doesn't resonate so much, because I've really had a sense of joy, and joy is not something based on circumstances. Joy is something that you carry with you all the time. And I've had so much joy the past couple of years. Yes, I've been angry. Yes, I've been resentful. Yes, I've cried. Yes, I've battled depression on some days. So I guess that statement is true. But because through my lens, I just live with a sense of joy, I guess I just see it different. I guess I just see my moments of like almost getting depressed as vulnerability, and moments of femininity, and moments of needing connection, and moments of needing being held. And I think there's a beauty in sadness sometimes. But anyways, I'm getting off topic again. Okay, I swear. Okay, we're focusing now. But this is what I really think is important to know. And this is I really, really want people to understand this. Is yes, I think that our culture and society and bloggers and people who have been in depressed and now they're not, and all these people really push the idea that you can choose joy, choose happiness, choose positivity, like a light switch. And to some degree, that's true, because it is that simple to just decide. And I'm gonna have a twist on this, so please don't hang up. Really, this is important because I just think this can really just save some people's days. So to a certain degree, yes, it is that simple. Like my personal story, I remember where I was sitting in my wheelchair because that's all I could do at the time, in my room, paralyzed from the neck down. And I thought this could be really sad. I was 33 at the time, I'm 36 now. This could be really sad. I'm in the prime time of my life. Like I'm in the time of my life where I could have children. Like I've lost my opportunity to have children. And some could say, well, you're 36, you could go freeze your eggs, or you could still have children. That's like saying you got one leg amputated, but you still have the other one. It's like, I'm not married. I can't take care of a kid by myself. I can't with my hands. And I'm not going to just go and spend all this money to get pregnant with some stranger's baby just so I can have a baby that I can't even take care of. That would have been something I needed to do in my early 30s to start a family. So I may not have chronic pain, but I always, I missed out on that with my illness, being able for that to be something I do. We all have our own pains, and that's not even my biggest pain, but it's just something. But I was sitting there, 33 years old, in a wheelchair, and I was just like, this could be really sad. It could. But I don't want to lose these years of my life sorry, bad internet. I'm going to choose to love these years just as much as the years before and just as much as the years after. So it was a decision, and that decision isn't always easy to come to. One of my friends, I love her story. She went to her therapist, and the therapist about her husband, and the therapist was like, do you want me to help you stay married or help you get divorced? And she said, help me get divorced. And she never went back. She went home and packed her stuff and moved out. And she's like, I just needed to make the choice. She's like, I've been battling for years whether to stay in that marriage or not. And when I just had to make the choice, then the rest was easy. But it was hard to get to that choice. And sometimes it is. Sometimes we're not ready to let go of our, feeling our grief of the things we lost. Sometimes we're not ready to let go of, someone we loved or a life we loved. Almost because if we let go of it, it makes it not real, or it makes it not reachable anymore or something. But sometimes we're just not ready to move on. And so sometimes it takes getting to that choice a little difficult. But when you get to that choice and you make that choice, it is like a light switch. It is that easy. But here's the part that I really hope, thank you for hanging in to hear. It's the after the choice that gets messy. It's not that you can just make the choice to be happy, turn the light switch on, and it's easy, and it's just like that it's that simple. And it bothers me that so many people out there make it seem like it's that easy. Oh, well, just choose happiness, choose joy, choose positivity, and that it's just that easy. I had somebody the other day make a comment where they were like, oh, well, you can just cure your autoimmune if you went plant-based. And I was like, well, I was plant-based when I got autoimmune, a healthy plant-based, green smoothies, detox teas, green juices every day, yoga, meditation, I was doing the whole thing. And they were just like, basically told me that I must have been doing it wrong. And I was like, I wasn't. And I said, oh, well, maybe it must have been a belief system you had. And I was like, okay, well, you've clearly not been in my situation before, or you wouldn't be talking to me like that. Like, healing just isn't as simple as just do this. But I told that story about the plant-based because that's how I see happiness and joy and positivity as well. For someone to just tell you, just choose joy, just choose happiness, just choose positivity, I feel like they've probably not been in your shoes. If it was that easy, wouldn't you have already done it by now? If you could just do that and it would fix all your problems. It's not like that. Choosing joy, choosing happiness, choosing positivity, first you have to make the choice. And then once you make the choice, that part is easy and it's a weight off your shoulders. It's like, wow, I'm doing this. I'm going to own my situation and I'm going to be happy. And I'm doing this. This is awesome. But just kind of like when you choose to lose weight, it's like you can choose to lose weight. That part's the easy part. It's the after. It's the going to the gym every day and the actually not eating the baked goods that are homemade and so good. Like it's wow. Like you're going to have days where you screw up and mess up. And you have some days where you just don't feel like doing anymore. And there's going to be some days where it's like, well, feeling like uncomfortable with my own skin and not being able to fit in my jeans. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I'm like cool with it. Like maybe I'll just stop this dieting stuff. That's kind of what it's like. Like you have to every day make the choice to do it. You have to try every day. You have to find what works for you. And what works for you isn't going to be the same as other people because they're not you. And they don't have your life and your situation and your experiences. So you have to try on different anti-inflammatory emotional diets. You have to try different ways to find peace and have fun and laugh. You have to find the people that are right for you. I mean, I could go on and on about the diet for joy and happiness, and that's kind of what my page is about anyways, is all the different things that can help because being happy and being positive isn't necessarily only having happy and positive thoughts. It's a lot to do with how to handle the negative ones, how to see the pain in our life differently, how to live with the pain instead of just trying to make it so small you can't feel it anymore because it'll just grow back. To actually heal from it, you have to feel it and address it and be okay with it in due time when you can. But anyways, yeah, that's it. I had one other thing I was going to say about that. I don't want to sit here and drag this on, but there's one other point I had about that. I had another analogy. So like being wanting to choose the light, like be a light seeker, be a soul seeker, be a dream chaser, be a lover of life. It's like choosing you want to see the sun. And the first choice is deciding you want to go outside. The second one is opening the door, like actually going there. And the third is sitting outside. And some days there's going to be clouds that block the sun. Like when you choose to be happy, when you choose to see light, it's not like you can just go outside and never see a cloudy day. Like you can go outside and all you have to do is just sit there, and it's easy to choose joy. It's just opening the door and going outside. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then you're good, girl. You're a good boyfriend. Just go outside. You're fine. No, there's going to be storms. There's going to be clouds. There's going to be some times where you lose track of the light, but you still went outside. And if you sit there long enough, the clouds will clear. But if what we do sometimes, we go outside and we think, okay, well, I tried to feel joy and happiness, and this isn't working. I'm going to go back inside. But just stay out there, and eventually the clouds will clear. They'll come back. But every day you got to choose outside and be in the light. So yes, the choice is that simple. It's the aftermath. It's the after the choice that gets a little bit tough, a little bit cloudy. But keep going to the gym. Keep choosing the anti-inflammatory, emotional lifestyle. And good luck. But you're doing great.